Food and fashion furniture.
Welcome back to Fashion Furniture as the 940 ESPN Rise show continues. And again, haven't had them added to those rejoins yet. Deep Boy Sky will have them for us next week. Future Prospects Instructional Baseball sponsoring our high school athletes, our high school coaches as well. Now, as we come into this segment, there was no scenario in which I thought that I was going to be doing a segment today. Really any time ever. Where I would be introducing former Kingsburg head coach Dave Steele. And, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time today. I know the last few days have had to have been very hectic. I mean, how did all this come about?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. It has been a kind of a whirlwind of emotions and everything else that's happened in the last couple, 3 days. So, well, you want the whole scenario of how it all went down, I guess. Every year you submit names and stuff, and you get your coaching staff together. And the one good thing is I've been able to build a phenomenal coaching staff from the top to the bottom. So it was just kind of a formality. I turn that list in and go on and turn some other things that we're going to plan on doing, Hume Lake trips and stuff like that for the summer. And just came to find out that it didn't go down the way I thought it was going to down. And so some things happened, and where certain people were pretty much inserted into my coaching staff that I didn't, actually put on my list. And so, talked with my superintendent and just kind of say, well, what happened? And he kind of gave me an idea. And so I submitted my names again and wrote up kind of a letter just to talk to the board just about, this is why I do what I do, and this is what we've done for the last 7 years. I just figured it would just work out. I didn't think it was going to be an issue. It was. That was back in March, and that pretty much got rejected as well. And so then I was, really perplexed of why this is all happening. And so it came up to this next board meeting, and I, submitted my list of players again, our coaches again, and because for us as a program, the way I've tried to structure what we do and what Kingsburg's been about and what this program's been from day one when I, was blessed to take over, is we had to have chemistry from top to bottom. The coaches have to be able to be on the same page and do the things we do. So that was, I think any organization you're involved with, you got to have that structure of, we're there for one common goal. And for us, it didn't matter whether you were on the freshman team or a freshman coach or a JV coach or a varsity coach. We were all in it together, and we were all trying to go for one goal. So that continuity was very important. That's what I had, and I've had that for several years, for a long time at Kingsburg. And so when it came down to the last one, I guess it went along long enough, and they knew that I wasn't going to back down on, these are the guys I needed and these are the guys I wanted. And I have a phenomenal varsity staff and a JV staff. And I was excited for it because I had some old players coming back that had just finished college football, and they were interested in playing. So I had them down there, and I've had some guys on the JV staff that have been there for many years. It was working, and it was doing good, and I was excited for this year because we've got a great group coming in. We've got a great group coming back because we were pretty young last year. We started 5 sophomores, and we're in D2, so we were doing extra stuff because that's where we are, and I've always said that you don't you can't complain about where you are. You are where you are, and we try to compete, and that's been our mantra from day one. We're going to compete. We're not going to complain. You're going to compete, and so we did a lot of stuff in the morning. We were trying to get the guys ready to go. And so when it came down that they had a board meeting, and I never had really any communication other than through my superintendent. I never heard anything from them. I never had any reasons why or this is we're thinking this. I'd never had that. So it was just kind of like just thrown on me. I was pretty shocked, and I didn't know what to take of it. And so when they had the last board meeting, it just went down, and then I guess they were tired of hearing me saying I was not going to take their guys. I want my staff, and they Randy had to come in on Tuesday morning and let me know that.
Hard conversation.
Yeah, it was, and to Randy's credit, he's been a big supporter of me. He's the world of you. Yeah, he's a great guy. I know it hurt him quite a bit, and so he had to come in and just tell me that they decided I was no longer the coach and they were going to go a different direction.
Christian, Coach Steele, my first job, I was faced with what he's saying. I got a job, the superintendent, whoever made me keep the JV coach, who they had passed over twice. And I said, when Reagan comes in, he brings in his people, Casper Weinberger, Alexander Haig. I tried to be...
You're doing some...
Yeah, I'm trying to show, you're a Hornet. I'm trying to show you the package. I went to class a couple of days. And so I just talked to him. I said, this is going to be a disaster, you making me keep this guy. And my first major battle as a coach was my staff. And, you played in college.
Yeah.
And so if you played in college, you don't see a staff divided.
No, because they won't be there very long.
No, that head guy, there'll be some cussing, and there'll be a dude walking out T-shirtless or pololess. He won't be wearing those colors anymore. So I can relate to what you're saying about having your own staff, because especially if you're building a program, and you got to have loyalty, because every guy I know in the NBA, Major League Baseball, and pro football, they all talk about that loyalty factor.
Yeah.
And you got to know the guy. All I can say is, with your personality and with your success, there ought to be 5 or 6 people in this valley, either junior college, or somewhere, that should be saying, hey, man, we need what you put the king at Kingsburg here. Have you had time to think about that or have any discussions with him?
Well, yeah, through all this, I feel so blessed. God has blessed me so much. I mean, I think He put those opportunities come, and when doors close, something's going to open. And that one door I had was getting at Kingsburg and doing the things I had that opportunity to do. And that was a door opening that I dreamed about doing, and I had a lot of reasons why I wanted to do it. And I always believe that God's if He's gonna do this, He's gonna put me somewhere that's the best thing. His plan is way better than any plan. Because, in fact, I had I had a 5-year plan and everything drawn out. We worked together, and I had coaches that were helping me with this thing, trying to get this thing. This is where we want. This is where Kingsburg's at. This is where I want to go with it. We exceeded even our expectations from when we first took it over. We accomplished a lot of the goals that I wanted. I wanted, my big main purpose of coming and doing it and having that job is because I'm a college football player. I came out of Kingsburg and I got a scholarship and I went and played in college, and it changed my life. Right. And it changed my life now. I mean, I look at what the opportunities I have, just like for you, the opportunities you had because you had that experience. Right. I got to meet, I got into coaching, I got to do these things, I got to meet all these coaches from all over the country, just, build some contacts and all these names and everybody around, and meet a lot of NFL guys and do those things. And I got, pretty tight with the coaches down at USC at the time when Pete Carroll was there, and all the meeting those guys and build a strong relationship with them and with Rocky Settle. And when they went up to Seattle, and they're just doing great things.
You still go up there. They still keep in touch.
Oh, yeah. And and that's how I, 3 years ago, I got invited up to go to OTAs and sit in with the coaches and be in the meetings. I'm with the players, learning all this stuff. And Chris Carlisle, the strength coach, is giving me their workout program, and we're taking that. And I'm just sucking as much, because when you get to learn from the best of the best of the best, it just fed into what we were doing, and it just made it go even better and beyond the expectation that we had 7 years ago when we were trying to get this thing going. And so, I know God's going to put me somewhere. I mean, I've had some interest. Some people I've had quite a few calls. I mean, I've been just bombarded, overwhelmed with just the love and the support, and there's just people that, from ex-players and coaches and people in our community, have just been so humbling to me. That the effect I had with people and how they feel about it. And, it's never, you get focused. And I was talking earlier, you get focused on what you're doing, and you're trying to get your program going. You get your players, you're working with the coaches. And you don't see that big picture, but it's been humbling. So yeah, I mean, for me, God has me here right now, but He's going to put me somewhere I need to be, and I truly believe that.
And I think so. You need to take a break.
Oh no, I was just I wanted to remind people we were talking with Dave Steele, and now again, surprisingly,
with his wife Lisa here, sitting here, supportingly, lovingly.
She's an Aggie too.
You gotta love that.
Going back to what you were saying, I mean, I think the first thing that caught me is that the story got picked up immediately. I mean, the Fresno Bee was on it, local TV stations were on it. 940, we posted something about it on Facebook, and I was telling Coach in hour one what surprised. No, it doesn't surprise me about the internet. It's like, oh, this guy loves a movie. There's always someone else say, oh, I hate it, or I hate the director or the actor or whatever. When this story went out, I was looking. I mean, it's kind of instinct now to scroll through the comments and see what people are saying. There was nothing bad. Everyone has the utmost respect for what you did for the community. There were a lot of questions being raised, but none of them were about what you did with the program. Everyone had the utmost respect for what you did, the coaching record, everything. I mean, everybody had embraced you. You were kind of their figurehead as football coach, and it says a lot. It's got to say a lot about the effect you had there.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's the part. I mean, I've gotten texts or messages and phone calls, but from past players that I coached. I mean, and I coached back in the Rosie way back in the day, and I came here, and I'm looking at comments from kids that I had, either just students or players that I coached that 16, 17, 18 years ago that I coached, and so that is just such an overwhelming. Just a blessing. I mean, like I said, you don't see that. And you wish you want to. And I always wanted to be that positive influence. I always wanted to build character. Because our goal from freshman to JV to varsity, if you talk to any of the coaches we have, it's a shared philosophy. It's we are there to make these boys become men, and it's more than just winning football games. It's more than just doing those things that people see on Friday night. It's that character issue. That's integrity. It's standing up for each other. That's showing up on time. It's things that they're going to have to do in their career. They got to be there on time. They got to be dedicated. They got to do those things to make it. And it's about that competition. And it's more than just competition. Okay, we're going to beat that guy across me. It's competing everything in your life. Compete in the classroom. Be the best student you can be. Compete on the football field. Be the best football player. Be the best basketball player. Be the best whatever it is you do. Be the best husband you can be. Be the best father you can be. Compete in all those things. Be the best person in your job so you can go and affect more people. And that's from day one when they walk in to the program to the time they leave. And for me, that's a huge thing of when they're out of the program and they leave, I want them to take that. That's got to be something they take with them. And I believe vast majority have taken it because I've heard and I've heard and I've heard and I've heard and I've heard, and I'm just overwhelmed.
I got to ask one more question. Lisa, thank you for coming on the show. Coaches have funny motivational tactics. Some people say it's a lie, or some people say it's a trick. I had to ask you because when I coached, and I went through stuff like this at times, not to this level, but it's good to have a support. How do you support a coach / husband when he means so much to everybody? What's it been like for you during this time?
For me during this time, I just go to God in prayer. I think that one of our main mottos in our family is that when God closes a door, you praise him in the hallway. So I truly believe that the next step is a new adventure, and I pray for my husband each and every day. I pray for the community. I pray for just everyone that's involved in this situation. I truly believe that to be a support is to go to God first.
Well, you got to have something to lean on. I know a lot of coaches that lean on the liquor store or the massage parlors, a lot of places they shouldn't be at. Or you're like me, I eat the fried foods. And I think it's important to hear the wife side of it because it is a family. You know, you as a coach, you're in it. You don't realize the impact, and then all of a sudden, your best friend, really, who you have to go home to, has got to support you through this. And you know, I just, you know, since you came, I wanted to ask you that. Plus, you're an Aggie. We got to love that. Coach, I honestly feel that there's got to be somebody in the college level, locally, that says, we need to turn this baby around. You know, there's got to be somebody that's going to say, you know what, we need you, your brother, and your staff, and all to come over here. Yeah. And we want to get these dorms filled up. We want to get some ball players here. And you've proven that you know how to win. And I almost feel with personalities like ours, farm kids, we come into the situation, we work hard, we drive hard, we have a short lifespan. And it doesn't stay in high school past 5 years. I think you got 2 years beyond what you normally would have got, in my view.
Last question I have for you. We normally ask the high school athletes when they're ready to make their college decision if they'll come back and let us know your next step. Whenever that comes, will you come back and talk to us?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, definitely. I definitely will.
And if you take a year off, you'll be our high school expert. Come back in and help us with our rankings with his weekly C-Loop thing.
There you go.
And one last thing I want to talk about is, you know, the guys that we have right now, the guys that are, you know, going through my players that I have, are going through a lot, and I feel real bad for them, but I want to encourage them that they know what it takes, and I just want them to encourage them that they got to step up and do it, and I just want things to happen pretty quick for them so they can know what's going to happen, so they're not set out there guessing, because right now they don't know. They're confused and they're sad and they're upset and everything else. But I love them to death, and I tell every one of them, if they ever need, even past players, and they've all seen it, but these guys that are here now, guys that are just leaving, my door's always open, and they all have my number. And if they need anything in life, it doesn't matter. Not next year, recruiting, anything, I'll do anything I can possibly do for them, because, you know, you put that much time in them, they're a part of you. And so right now I'm spending time with my family and my boys and my daughter, and we'll just see where God puts us. And I'm excited because the opportunity is going to come, and I'll be ready to jump on it.
All right, Coach, we appreciate the time. Wish you all the best with whatever comes next, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lisa, for coming on.
All right, that'll do it for the Rise Show for today. Tony D coming up.